Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our video recap of the City Council meeting from November 8th, 2021. I'm here with our interim city manager, Chief Robert Parker, and I'm Art Minor, mayor. So with that, we'll start off with roll call. We have one individual that was out for advance notice, and we have our vacancy that we're going to look to fill in May. So we were short 2 council members. First item was announcements, and I started that off, or several council members started it off. We talked about the trunk or treat that all the departments had the Friday before Halloween. It was a great event. It was a huge turnout of citizens and really well put together, and congratulations goes out to all the department heads and their staff that did that. It was a great job.
Mayor Chad Stevens, our interim park director, kind of choreographed that whole event. And I was told at one time the line went all the way around to the front of the library.
It did. It did.
Great turnout from the citizens.
Yep.
Great event.
And then the other thing that I mentioned Monday night was the fire department. They decorated the inside of one of our ambulances, and they took a special needs child around the neighborhoods to several houses. They came by my house, and I had 6 of my neighbors. They all came out, and we did a little trick or treat there for the little guy, and then they went around to 5 or 6 other areas. So hats off to the fire department for that. Very well done.
Yes, sir.
With that, we moved into presentations. Chief?
Yes, and again, one of my most favorite parts of the council meeting, we get to honor some of our employees, and this time we honored Officer Thomas Williams, who's celebrating 5-year anniversary, and Trina Nacenzo at the library, who's celebrating 15 years. Both are very valued employees and are contributing to the city of Watauga and the citizens greatly. We appreciate their years of service.
All right, and you also want to talk about the fire safety poster contest?
Absolutely. The fire department had a fire safety poster contest that was based around learn the sounds of the fire department, and how to be safe. And they selected some winners from different age groups and categories, and those poster creators were at the city council meeting and got an award and got their picture taken. And it was great to see those kids interact with that.
Yep, some of those posters were cute.
They were.
And when you look at them, you think of, we always look at the world through the eyes of an adult, and to look at it through the eyes of the child, it's eye-opening.
It is.
Some of the things. And then the last thing for presentations, I did a proclamation declaring November 27th as Small Business Saturday in the city of Watauga. So you should see some of those Small Business Saturday signs, Shop Watauga signs popping up along, hopefully in areas where they're allowed to be, and not in the right of way and causing work for our code. But Small Business Saturday is a big event for the city of Watauga, and the WDC is behind that. We had nobody under public comment, nobody under public testimony. Our consent agenda was lengthy. We had 10 items on the consent agenda, and I requested to have one of the items pulled and moved to action items. And again, just a reminder to everybody, consent agenda is just general housekeeping things that just occur continuously. And any council member has the right to pull any item off of consent and move it to action items. Does not require a second. So then the action items, the item off of consent moved to action item number 1. And that was a ordinance. I'll just read the whole thing real quick. Amending Chapter 40 of the Code of Ordinances, amending rules and regulations for park zone. And what that was, the city has extended the park zone at Foster Village. It now extends all the way to Roof Snow. And that was done, the reason I pulled that was that I wanted the citizens to realize it was a safety issue that had been brought to the attention of the city, and I wanted everybody to know that we were taking what steps we could to help alleviate that issue. So that's why that got pulled, and we moved on then to item number 2. 2, which was the bond,
Yes.
the most important part
Money
of the evening.
savings.
Much like refinancing your house, we refinanced our bonds, and in the process, we saved over $400,000 over the course of those bonds. So hats off to the finance department and that group. That was quite a bit of savings. In fact, I think it was like close to $100,000 more than they had anticipated.
Yes, that's
When
correct.
we started to look into that.
And
So,
the reason why that's so much more, if citizens out there don't know, is because we have such a good bond rating. And we have some good competition for bidders on our bonds. And it came in at a very low interest rate for our bonds, and that gave us some extra money.
I think it was 1.24.
I believe that's correct.
Somewhere around in there. And yes, and as you say, and I try to mention this at the council meetings whenever the opportunity arises, it's because of our credit rating. And that's, again, an indication of everybody from staff to department heads to the finance department doing their job and doing it well. Because there are cities out there that don't get the good deals that Watauga gets.
Being fiscally responsible.
The next item, probably the second most important one of the night, was we voted on your replacement. And you can go back to being the police chief in January. Josh Jones was selected by the council as our new city manager, and he will start on January 3rd.
It's a very exciting time for the city. Get some energy in here from a nice man that is very well credentialed, and I think he's going to come into a fantastic job.
And you're not being fired. You've done a pretty good job keeping things going on the straight and narrow.
Appreciate
Since
that.
Ms. Gardner has left. But it's a new one, so it'll be a new chapter in Watauga. We'll see how that goes for us. Next was the meet and confer.
Yes, the Watauga Firefighters Association brought to the table for meet and confer, which is a bargaining agreement with the Firefighters Association to hire some part-time firefighters to help fill in some of the gaps. We were able to meet with them and discuss it and come to an agreement, and the council ratified that last night. So we will soon be hiring some part-time firefighters to fill in the gaps and hopefully maintain a level of staffing in the fire department that is acceptable, that can provide a good response to the citizens.
And save us some money.
Yes, and save us some money.
So, the next item was just the resolution by the city council on the meet and confer.
Right. Anytime we change something like that, we have to change our classification plan, and it's added a new classification group in our classification plan of part-time firefighter paramedic, so we had to change that by council.
The next item was on the opioid, and Chief, you attended a meeting in my place for that. You want to just?
Yes, sir. I met with members of the Texas Attorney General's office and some other cities around here to discuss the opioid crisis across America. And the Texas Attorney General has sued several manufacturers and distributors of opioids that are causing some of the problems with the crisis of overdose and misuse. And the city is likely to receive some funds from that lawsuit. Don't know exactly when they're going to be here and exactly how much. It's divided up about by how much of a crisis you suffered during all that. So it's looking like we could get several $1,000s to help with recovering some of our costs dealing with the opioid crisis.
Yeah, as near as I could figure, going through the 700 and some pages of that act, is we're going to get hopefully somewhere around 40,000.
Yes, sir.
And Councilman Taylor, him and myself, we couldn't figure out how they divided that up. So, but it's a mess. But anybody that would like to read about it,
It's out there.
it's out there for you to read. Good luck. The next couple of items were appointments to the Animal Advisory Committee. 2 people we appointed to the Planning and Zoning, and 1 to the Zoning Board of Adjustments. And this is where I do my pitch again to get people to apply for boards. Had a recommendation here just a little while ago at the Citizens Focus Group to get that board application thing to the front page of the city's website. but we need people. I've got lots of vacancies, and I'm at the point now where I'm trying to appoint people that are already on other boards, 2 boards. So that's my spiel on that. So the last thing, item number 10, Chief.
Yes, that was discuss and consider action to adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Watauga, Texas, voting on a nominee for appointment to the Board of Directors for the Tarrant Appraisal District for the term of 22-23. And that's important to the citizens because that appraisal district is the one that comes out and tells you what your house is worth and how much taxes you're going to do. And we actually tabled that until the next meeting. And the reason why that was tabled is we want to make sure we make the appropriate choice. We want to have somebody on that board, or our votes go to somebody on that board that is going to be transparent, help the Tarrant Appraisal District move forward, and do the right thing for everybody involved. So we'll be bringing that back December 13th.
Yes, that should have been my item. I think I messed up there, but that was my suggestion, or my recommendation was to table that until the December meeting. We have until December 15th to cast our votes.
Yes.
We get 10 votes, and I'm in contact with some of the mayors of the other cities in regard to that.
Yes.
But, yeah, that'll be coming back for 13th December. And then we wrapped up the evening with reports we had a report on the American Rescue Plan. And Chief, I'll turn that over to you.
Yes, Sandra Gibson is our finance director, and she's been doing a lot of the work kind of spearheading this. And there's been a group of staff directors working on this. And the American Rescue Plan Act is a grant funded by the United States government given to municipalities and school districts and other entities to help recover from COVID and everything else. And there's a lot of rules, and the rules are a constant moving target. So we're trying to make sure we're doing this right. We get one chance to spend the money, and we have rules we have to follow. We want to spend it on what's going to be best for our citizens and make sure that we are within compliance. So it takes time. So Sandra gave us a very good thought out report of where we're at, what we need to do, where we're going, and how to get there. And that, again, is on the meeting if you want to go back and watch that. There will be a workshop planned for that sometime in the near future, probably in the first month of the year, the new year, when the new city manager gets here. And hopefully we'll have a plan of action after that and figure out how we're going to spend that money.
Okay, and the key word there you mentioned is citizen input.
Yes.
We are going to elicit some citizen input through some sort of a survey. This would be an opportunity for the citizens to tell us what they'd like to see us spend it on within the parameters of what the rules are. This is a different funding than the CARES Act. So we can do a little more with it, but there still are restrictions. And as with the funds with the CARES Act, we had to spend it by 31 December of last
Yes.
year. The ARPA money, which is what the acronym is for
Yes.
the rescue plan, we have 3 years to spend that.
Almost 4.
But the same lines as the CARES Act, if you spend it on something you're not supposed to, when you get audited, because everybody will be audited, then you'll be required to pay that money back. And again, that is why our finance department is we're taking this slowly and making sure that we comply, because as you said, it's a moving target. They do not have the final rules in place yet.
Yes.
So, but $6 million is what Watauga is scheduled to get out of that. We've already received half of it, and we'll be moving forward with that.
Yes, sir.
And with that, that was it. We had no executive session this time, and that was the end of the meeting.
Again, thank you, Mayor, for letting me be part of this, and maybe I'll get to do one more of these before the new city manager comes in. And but before we wrap up, I want to give a very sincere thank you to the veterans that have served out there and that are serving. A lot of our employees are veterans, and you're a veteran. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, veterans. Today is Veterans Day, and without your service, we would not be sitting here today, and it is very appreciated by me and many, many others out there. So thank you, and have a great Veterans Day.
All right, Chief, thank you, and from the bottom of my heart also, but thank you to all the veterans. There are a lot of organizations and businesses out there that are doing special events today for veterans. Go out and partake of it. You've earned it.
Absolutely.
Being a veteran has not been an easy thing. So congratulations to all you that have been.
Yes, sir.
With that, I guess we'll wrap this up. And we'll get together again after the next meeting.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.